Hey guys, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, where I'm sure you guys are around the world. This is Danish, your community servant, and I am right now in Colombia, and we are here today with our friend Gabriel from Portugal. So, first, to quickly warm up the room, I really would love to hear where you guys are right now. This is my favorite thing because I love to know the country names, and it's like such a great feeling that we all from all over the world connected here in this Zoom chat and learning from Gabriel. So, please, to begin with, please share with me your location. Where are you right now? And that will be so much fun. Um, I will be sharing a few resources with you while you're introducing yourself, and I will share some resources which are incredible for you. It's going to help you in your digital nomadic journeys, and then we will dive in with Gabriel, learning about the different visas about Portugal. So, okay, let's see here. So we have Bali, Dortmund, Germany. Wow, I've been there. Such a great city. Jamaica, San Antonio, Austin. So, Texas in the house. Yay. Simone from Australia. I think, Simone, I was talking to you. You are the one. Yeah. Dallas. And Gabriel, we got someone from Lisbon. So that's good to that's good to have someone.
Yes.
Yeah. So guys, keep writing it where you're from. It's really good to know you guys. And I will be sharing my screen quickly to share some resources for you guys. So the first resource I want to share is the visadb.io, which is I am the founder, disclaimer. So I created this database and I listed all the visas for all the citizens of the world. So what you can do, you can quickly browse this, all the global visas, work visas, entrepreneur visas, digital nomad visas. And the best thing is that it's based on your citizenship. So where you're from doesn't matter. Put your citizenship and you select anywhere it shows you all the visas. So to give you a quick example, these are the 23 digital nomad visas available for all of us right now today. You can check it out. You can quickly click on the visa and check out its about its requirement. How many the experts community live there, where they come from. So like United States, the top expats community in Croatia, and also you can check out the cost of living, which is really important for us digital nomads to decide where we're gonna move, right? So check this out. It's really a free resource I've created for you with the help of a lot of organizations. And of course, if you like to hire experts like Gabriel, you can also browse the services here and see the pricing transparency, and you can also click to hire these experts anywhere in the world. And I'm sure that Gabriel is there as well. So if you type in Portugal, it's going to show you all the services for Portugal. We have 7 services, and I think that's the one. You can click in it and you can check it out and you can hire. Okay, sorry, this is Elisa, but definitely hire Gabriel as well. So second supporter I want to share this webinar, of course, requires software and resources. I want to quickly give a shout out to Safety Wing, who supported our community webinar series. Great service, a lot of digital nomad, their insurances, check their products out, really cool. The third and the last resource I want to share is our group. That's where we gather, right? So if you are not in the group, please join our community. We have incredible knowledge. We recycle, we announce events, we share resources, and it's kind of our digital hangout. We get together here, we cry, we laugh, we share insight and resources. So check all these resources out, and I'm going to turn off my screen. I'm back here. And now I would really proudly announce Gabriel. Gabriel is our friend from Lex City. Lex City is a immigration law firm out of Spain, and they also have an office in Portugal. And that office is led by Gabriel and his team, and they are on a mission to help digital nomads to relocate to Portugal. So I'm really honored, Gabriel. I really, really want to show my gratitude and thank you on behalf of 148,000 of my community. So welcome and thank you for joining. How are you today?
Hi, Danish. Well, it's actually my pleasure. It's a huge honor as well to be part of it, and also help. Like our motto, our firm objective and vision and goal. It's we strive for peace of mind of our clients and making law simple. I mean, we know that, and I'm super empathic to the relocation process because it is it's a big step in everyone's life, and everyone wants to be able to join the global tribe and be able to experience new cultures and new places. But this can be sometimes difficult to understand the local bureaucracies, the local requirements,
Yeah,
and dealing with local and different laws. And that's a bit of what Laxity aims to do. We strive to be the side help and be here to support and guide people through these really important steps on their life.
appreciate it, Gabriel. I'm really grateful for your time and efforts. So let's jump right into it, and I will begin our incredible conversation with why Portugal, why people are crazy about Portugal, especially digital nomads community. We are flocking to Portugal. I personally haven't been there. I'm looking forward because of COVID. Of course, next year I'll be coming in, but you are there, you're working with digital nomads. Can you just tell us quickly a little bit like why digital nomad loving Portugal?
So I believe it's after the big economic crisis that happened in the country, well, the last decade, and the recovery of the country. Two things stood out really easily. It's the stability, political stability, security. It's a super safe country to be for men, for women, for any race, any culture. We don't have any stigmas or any type of discrimination in terms of people. The people's really welcoming in a way. And besides that, the tourism. What happened, I believe, it's a lot of people. There was actually, I can pinpoint one moment in time. There was actually an article in the New York Times that the discovery of Portugal, how it's a beautiful country, because a lot of people in the world they know more about the Spanish culture. It's right across the border, but I mean, it's Portugal. Sometimes it's this hidden secret for people, and a lot of people had the experience to visit the country from the past, before COVID, of course, but for the past 5 years, a lot of people had their first travel to Portugal, and more, it's people. The digital nomads community just grow. I mean, it's more and more people are being able to work remotely, especially now after
Yeah,
COVID. So this will be even increasing, and they come, they love the country, they want to stay. And yes, it's to be 100% truly honest, it's not because we have the easiest and the most straightforward laws in the world to embrace the digital nomads. We are in the process of actually developing this digital nomad visa program, but we have good programs that allows digital nomads to stay here in the country,
yeah,
and especially because the country also, this is a really important factor to pinpoint,
yeah.
is we have a population decrease, which means
Okay.
that a lot of people migrate to other countries from Portugal
Mhm.
and to Germany, to France. And what happens is that the country is decreasing their population year by year. So there is already studies from the Internal Ministry of Affairs
Yeah.
that there is a certain amount of worker migrants that needs to come to the country to
Mhm.
sustain, well,
Wow.
the economics, like the social security and the well-being of the country. There is need to be, otherwise, well, the population won't sustain the country itself. And yeah, so we are really welcoming, compared, for example, to other European countries.
Okay.
We are really welcoming to legal.
Well, you mentioned 2 points. I will repeat it. I will summarize it. If you mentioned the political stability as well, and you also mentioned that it's very open society for every culture from anywhere in the world. They can feel home. I will add, of course, I'm managing the community. I'm a digital nomad myself for the last 6 years. So the points I study in our community is of course, is extremely beautiful and it's really good. It has, beaches, it has landscape, culture, city, art scene is incredible. Cost of living is also mentioned a lot by a lot of digital nomads. That is, it's really great. And one point more, which may not be applied on a lot of digital nomads, is like it's great country to raise a family. That's what I
True.
am. So these are the points. So let's say today, all my people right now in the group, and out, of course, who are not in the group, but they want to move to Portugal. Of course, for short term, we have a tourist visa for many citizens. Can you tell us how long they can stay on tourist visa? Let's start with that. So if I
Mhm,
go to
mhm.
Portugal, how long I can stay?
90 days to
Okay,
start with. You can start with 90 days and then renew it for an extra period of 90 days.
sure.
Within a year, 180 days, that's the limit that you can stay in the Schengen area.
Sure.
So
So 180 days. This is my maximum time in Portugal, and I fall in love, and I want to stay in Portugal longer than 180 days. So let's talk about first, what are the visa options for me and my people if they want to stay more than 180 days?
there's many strategies around it. Let's try to go around some of them. The most, if you are so deeply in love by the country, you want to stay, and you say, you know what, I'm a digital nomad, but I quit this life because Portugal, it's my country. There are some options that you can apply straight to the country. One of them, the most expensive one, is the golden visa. If you
Sure.
acquire a property or make some type of investment, now
Mhm.
we are changing the law by the end of the year. But
Okay.
sorry, just going around. There is one point that is really important to pinpoint. To apply for a residence permit in the country,
Yeah.
in Portugal, it's an exception. It's not the general rule. So the general rule is always applying in the home country consulate.
Okay.
This
Sure.
is super important to stress out because all of will say, assuming that you are in the country and you want to stay in the country, my first advice would be, if possible, go back to your country and apply there for the visa. Some countries are already accepting, some consulates are accepting remote applications, some
Mhm.
not. Some types of visa accepted, some other not. But going back to the applying straight in the country, we have the golden visa. We
Sure.
have for highly qualified. That means if you make more than 1,500 approximately per month
Sure.
and goes into a certain list of categories of highly desired, highly added value activities, you can apply either as a service provider
Mhm.
or if you have a work contract. Feel free to interrupt me anytime because I'm going to go through a lot of things and I want to make this casual and a lot of questions will
Mhm.
arise for sure.
Yes.
And one last one that I would like to stress out in the country is manifestation of interest, that a lot of people ask about it. But the problem in the manifestation of interest is this simply is a communication that you make in the portal to the borders authorities saying, I want to stay, I want to work in the country,
Yeah.
and I want to apply directly in here.
Yeah.
The problem with this one is that it takes too long. And
Mhm.
while it's being processed, it's not advisable to go away from the country because
Yeah.
whenever you come back, you might have problems because you went into a gray
Okay.
zone. And a lot of
So
people ask this to us.
yeah, to summarize that, if my people want to stay in Portugal, that's awesome. But if they want to extend their stay, it's better that they apply in their home countries. The process is shorter, is
Exactly.
faster, and is better. Okay, that's point noted. That's incredible. So you talked about so far two visas I heard. One is the golden visa, and the second is D7 visa. So let's
Mhm.
break it down. Of course, I know my community, so D7 is applicable more. So let's talk about it. So can you tell us what is D7 visa and what are its top three requirements?
Yeah, the D7 visa, it's just making sure that gets clear. The D7 visa should not be applied as a residence permit in the country. So it means that you need to go back and apply in your home country. This is super
Sure.
important to highlight.
Right.
So first requirement, be in your home country. And a home country is any country that you already have a legal residence permit or your nationality country.
Yeah.
Can be either ways.
Right.
Um, the main thing, and that's where the big if here is that where you're applying, because we have a general regulation that says that you need to have at least 9,000 euros per year so that you can sustain yourself. Going back, the D7 visa, it's the one that shows that you are economically independent. You have passive income, some sort of way that you don't need to rely. You're not coming to Portugal to rely on finding a work in Portugal, but instead you are actually proving that you can be sustaining yourself in the country and not, let's say, go into the local labor market.
Yeah.
So in order to, yeah.
Yeah, so that's we all are working digitally. Our clients are in different countries, we are in different countries. So our income is most likely outside Portugal. And most likely it is outside Portugal. So that requirement is, you mentioned 9,000 euros a year,
Yeah.
which I would roughly divide is like $1,500 a month.
Yeah. No, actually, yeah, would be because something around 80. It's actually based on the minimum wage. The minimum wage right now in Portugal, it's 750, give or take it. But considering the 14, Portugal, we have 14 labor months, let's say, because we have extra vacation and extra holidays allowances. But giving it all and multiplying for 14, it's roughly 8,000 and something. But yeah, but
so to,
come, please, sorry.
Yeah, monthly, what would you say monthly? $1,500, is it a safe amount to say, $1,500?
But that's when we begin to start having problems, because this is what states in the law, but we have a big situation that in Portugal, in the local administration and the consulates, which are representation of the local administration, there is a lot of variability of how they understand the laws. And that's where we come in, because we try to break in and understand what that consulate is wanting to look for. We know that they can range much, but they sometimes ask, for example, a full deposit in a Portuguese bank account to prove that you are ready, let's say, for the next 2 years, because normally the first residence permit is issued for 2 years. So sometimes they ask for this 18,000 deposit in Portugal. Some of them ask just a bank extract showing that you make, give and take, 1,000, 1,500 euros per month, every month. That's where the advice goes more on our expertise and our practice rather than what is in the law, because we see that sometimes it doesn't worth fighting that much. It's a matter of understanding what they want and complying with their understanding. Sometimes, of course, we need to pick some fights.
Okay, so my people, let me because I already had this one webinar as well, so I know exactly what you're talking about. So guys, the requirement is like $1,500 a month, but as Gabriel said, it depends on the consulate, because their understanding of the law is different, and they also in a power to ask you that, hey, show us for the whole 2 years, show us that you have that money in savings. So then you have to show either 2 years bank statement, or in some cases they might even ask you to transfer that money to Portuguese bank for 2 years, but that is very rare. Another expert said that that's very rare, but they might ask you to show your ongoing income, which is $1,500 lowest, and it's better to show higher, right? It's better to show higher, but yeah, higher the better, right? And of course, and that's why Gabriel is here. They will prepare your document to fight with those consulates
Exactly.
to get your visa done. So Gabriel, money is number one, of course. Embassies, they need to apply in their local embassies. Is there any other requirement which you think digital nomads should know?
Yes, another big fight we pick with the consulates, it's the proof of a place to stay in Portugal. Some consulates, this strategy works quite nice, which is just booking, let's say, a booking or Airbnb for 30 days, and stay. Once we got there, we're gonna find a definite stay for the residence permit. Some consulates accept like that. We put it as a letter explaining the situation. Look, I don't know where I'm gonna live in Portugal, so I just want something temporary for the first month, and then I go for something more definite. But some consulates now, especially in the US, are asking for us a full year lease agreement in Portugal to issue the visa. It's quite it's I mean, it doesn't make any sense for us. It's kind of frustrating to bear this news to the client,
Yeah.
but if they're able to get it, that's better, because I need to make one another thing really clear, is that the problem is that the consulates are the gateway. They are like gatekeepers, let's say. So they actually have this subjective power to say,
Yeah.
yeah, this is not. I don't like this. I don't like the way this is looking. So we make sure to prepare everything really well, show that everything is sustained on our understanding of each other. So
Sure.
we make sure that your application is well, it's granted. You
Okay.
accept. But the thing is, sometimes they have these outrageous requests in some specific consulates, and that's another big
Sure.
requirement. The proof of
You,
stay.
you can help them, and we know that they might require, and there may be some services, or maybe you can assist them to get that rental contract without them arranging it. And we also have another someone else who could help in that regard. So these are the three requirements. So Gabriel, okay, my people came up with money, contract, and they're ready to give you these documents. How long the process, like how long it takes, the whole process, and also what is the cost, the government fee, and then we will of course ask your fees as well. But first, what is the government fee and the time it takes for the whole complete application? Actually, is also a question Nathan asked, but yeah.
Yeah, so basically, by law they have 90 days to reveal and give a decision about the visa application in the consulate, right? So we need to break down the process into, there is the visa process, the residence visa, that once you got it, it's impressed in your passport and allows you to come to the country to establish residency. So
Okay.
on the second part of it, you're going to apply for the card, for the residence permit itself.
Yeah.
And the residence permit itself, one of the requirements to have a residence visa. And then once you obtain your residence visa, you have 4 months to enter the country and apply for the residence permit after the visa is issued. Again, 90 days for the visa, and then you have 4 months to apply for the residence permit in a local staff appointment that normally the consulates already give you an appointment, a date and time to be here in Portugal and visit the local staff office.
Okay, that sounds good. This reminds me of Germany because I moved from Toronto to Germany. They gave me 3 months visa, temporary. Then I went to Germany and I applied for the one like remaining 9 months, and then I was able to apply the residence permit, and then I was able to rent. And of course, I had to hire someone because German language you can understand. Same case in Portugal, guys, and that's why Gabriel is here to help. So it takes 3 months, I would say 3 months before you can move to Portugal, and then the process continues there, and then you get this visa. Is it quicker to get that residence visa once you are in Portugal?
Yeah, that's the thing. The residence visa is applied in the home country, right?
Yeah.
So the residence permit, it's important to have the names because they represent two moments of the process. So the visa, technically speaking, it's the ones that they stamp in your passport. So the permit's the card. So
permit, How long does it take for the permit? So visa, we got it within 90 days, yes or no? And if it's yes, then we go to Portugal and apply this permit. How long does it take to get this permit?
So the permit, it's in the date and time that is scheduled with the Borders Authority. You're going to apply for it and make sure to bring everything required by law. File the application. You already go away from the application with a paper proving that you filed for it, with a picture, with your name, with all your personal details. And it already has like a saying on the bottom of it saying, these already substitute your residence permit while it doesn't arrive to your home, because they will send you this to the place that you showed as your address in Portugal. They will send the card there. So I mean, the moment that you leave the appointment, you already technically, as long as the application is successful, as long as you have all the documents, you already go away with it with your permit, not the card itself, but a paper proving that a document proving that you applied for it.
Amazing. And how much is the cost, which is the very important question my people are looking for. So the government fees and your fees if they hire. And guys, there is some discount as well. Gabriel's going to offer all of you, but let's find out the cost of it, the total cost, Gabriel.
Yeah. So the government fees, giving or taking something around 200 euros per application for the 2 moments, for the visa and for the final card.
200 euros. Okay.
90, if I'm not 90 euros, if I'm not mistaken, in the consulate. Sure. It depends a bit on each consulate as well. Yeah. And then, but you can be with this in mind. The cost in general cost is 200 euros for the government fees. Our fees, it depends on each case, because we try to put it as most comprehensive as possible, because sometimes we understand that alongside with just the visa application, there is also, for example, tax matters that needs to be complied with. So after you obtain your residence permit, for example, if you're staying here for a long term, for more than 183 days, you need to change your fiscal address to Portugal. So, I mean, it always also comes with this follow-up that it's mandatory by law to do, and we are here to stick with support the whole process and be able to help. So, I mean, we have these also, for example, registering the healthcare system.
Sure. We help different services, and it depends. The cost depends on what services one is hiring for.
So basically, we have this full package. I can tell you that the full package would be something around 2,500 euros divided in all the steps.
Okay.
It's not
so to some of guys, 190 is the government fee, and full comprehensive package is 2,500 euros. But yeah, you can divide it. It's not the whole, every time is not the thing. Maybe you can just say, hey, Gabriel, just get me visa and this resident permit. So that's going to be very less. But if you want Gabriel to
do, sorry, it's just to complement. Exactly. It can go as low as 1,500 divided in two splits, in two stages, and as high as this. But again, it's on the perspective on helping on things that we know it's going to be a hustle, is going to be a difficulty in the day-to-day, and we are flexible. We try to make it, we want to help, so we might try to make it that works for each one and understanding each particularity.
So if I will quickly ask you the question around taxes. So if I am on D7 visas, do I owe any taxes to Portuguese government?
Yes. So what happened is that whenever you are more than 183 days in Portugal, or if you already have a long-term lease agreement in Portugal, either cases will be considered a tax resident in Portugal. And being considered a tax resident in Portugal, you are taxed on your global income, which means that what happens is that you're gonna apply for your tax residency. And it's needed to understand whether you are necessarily paying taxes in another country, because let's say that you need to withhold taxes when you receive some money from the US or from any other country in the world. Whatever taxes you are paying there, it's going to be taken to Portugal and as a credit and be deducted from what you would need to pay as in Portugal. It's going to be understood as a foreign source of income. But it will be taxed in Portugal as well. There is a lot of double taxation treaty between all the countries, and one of our parts is to understand, in your case, with your source of income, how this treaty between countries happens. So many times you can be exempt because of the treaty itself. Other times not. But it's important to highlight that you're taxed on your global income.
Sure. But there is another type of visa called NHR, something where
it's a tax program. It's not a visa, it's a tax program. I mean, any visa, it can be the D7, the entrepreneur visa that we didn't cover much, but business visa, anything, highly qualified worker visa, anyone can apply for the NHR, which is a program. It's called non-habitual resident. The name it's not good because you're non-habitual resident is what it means. But anyways, you are a resident, you are in the country, but you apply for this, and it's meant to attract highly skilled professionals from all over the world. And the main benefit of it is that any income that you make and declare in Portugal under a specific set of qualifications and jobs that you can do, you can have a flat rate of 20%. This is a good benefit, lasts for 10 years. And also this allows you to actually apply all the double taxation treaties that I was mentioning, and using the NHR as the gateway to actually make the tax authority understand that you are a global citizen, a foreign citizen, and you are in the country and you would like to take advantage of this double taxation treaty.
I think Gabriel and all of us listening to us, we're going to organize another webinar alone for NHR because it's an incredible topic. It saves all of us taxes. It saves all of us money. So I will be organizing a separate session on NHR alone with Gabriel, and we will just dive deep into it. So today, of course, time is running. I'm so surprised that half an hour just went like that. So let's jump quickly to the questions. We have a lot of questions, and I'm just quickly going to ask to you, Gabriel, and I know you took your half an hour. It's taking longer, so we promise that we will have I will quickly ask you. You can feel free to answer in 5 or 10 seconds, just so that we can save your time. So how can you mention someone that in some cases they want you to deposit the money, but you're applying the visa in your country? How are you going to deposit the money in Portuguese bank? That was
good question. Actually, the law says that the monies needs to be available in port, which means that, for example, a credit card, international credit card, says that you have money available in the country, but this is a super liberal, let's say, interpretation of the law. Some interpretations ask for the money to be available literally in the country in a bank account. So that's where a trusted lawyer can help, because, I mean, you don't want someone to open a bank account for you, anyone opening a bank account and managing and being. So we try to do this interface with the banks. We have trusted partners in 3-4 different banks, the top 5 banks in Portugal, and we try to make this experience more trustful, more reliable, more straightforward. And it's actually to open an individual bank account, a bank account for an individual in Portugal. It's fairly simple. It's very simple.
Okay, it's your service, Nathan, and Gabriel can help you that. Muzzer is asking, after spending 2 years on D7 visa, can I get a PR in Portugal? Is there a path to citizenship or permanent residency?
Yeah, that's also another great benefit when it comes to migrating to Portugal, because the citizenship it's available after 5 years of legal residency in the country. So it counts from the moment you obtain your first residence permit. The moment you get out of the Borders Authority, the SAF, with that paper, that's when it starts counting the 5 years. And so it means that right now, the law in general says that the first permit is issued 1 year and then renewed for periods of 2 years. And then 5 years, you get the PR. But since COVID, for 2 years now, they make it that the first permit is issued for 2 years, and the second one renewed it's already for 3 years. So it makes that you have just one renewal until you make 5 years, and you are able to apply for either permanent residency or citizenship.
Wow, that's incredible, and that's a European citizenship, and which is incredible. So guys, that's a great path. There are not so many countries who give you in 5 years, right? So I think it's a great option. So quickly want to ask you, for employee visa, Eric is asking, someone is already in Europe on an employment visa, but they are a national of, let's say, United States. They want to apply D7 visa. Do they have to go back to the US, or they could do it while in that European country?
So if it's, assuming, for example, that now our audience is for digital nomads, that are the guys who are programmers, developers, and I don't know, marketing, any type of, digital professions, let's say, like that, there's a huge chance of being considered a highly qualified worker, which is one of the exemptions that allows you actually to apply directly in the country. So then you need to prove that you have a job offer or a big contract, let's say a freelancer worker, freelancer contract, service provider contract with a Portuguese entity, and you need to make 1,500 euros at least. And there is also the tech visa, which is also a program, but it's aimed for the companies in Portugal. to allow them to easily and fastly hire talents
Sure.
in this highly qualified work.
I think seems like we have to organize so many events with you for each type of visas because they are, of
Yeah.
course, different options. So I will move forward with Nina's question here. If my ultimate goal is to live in Portugal long enough to eventually be eligible for citizenship, is it advisable to start with a D7 visa? If not, what would be the best way to become eventually
Yes,
eligible?
yes, yes. These 7 visits actually a great approach, but the thing is, and one thing we didn't cover, Danish, is that it needs to be taken care because we're speaking with a digital nomad community. It's
Yeah.
the times that you cannot be absent from the country. That's an important point as well, because
Okay.
there is a restriction that you cannot stay during the validity of the period of the permit, which means 2 years or 3 years. You cannot be absent from the country for 6 months in a row,
Yeah.
or 8 months combined. This is super important. It's not automatically. It doesn't mean that if you stay away, they will cancel it. But when you renew it or when you go for the next appointment, these can be checked.
Sure.
But it's also an exemption to the general law that if you prove that you needed to travel because of social reasons, work reasons, not necessarily for you, but your center of interest of your life was still Portugal. We can find we can find ways of contesting it.
I think they would understand because this is the nature, and also I know this is a lot of country does that, and social links you need to keep ties. So
Exactly.
it's
A
very okay.
house. It's not that you're simply gone
Yeah.
and you come back like 2-3 years ago to apply for a permit or permanent residency. But the D7 visit's a great path.
Sure.
Many clients of ours are drilling. They are drilling this path. Others are already concluded it.
Okay.
And yeah.
So I will move forward. We are having a lot of more questions, which I love it because that's what we love. My people can get direct help. So is it better to look for a place to live once you are there on the visa, or is the lease required for the visa? I think I can answer it. It's a requirement to get the visa, correct, Gabriel?
Yeah, again, it can be, it cannot be. It depends on the consulate. Some consulates you can just like book a Airbnb, let's say for the first 3 months, 30 months, a temporary stay, and then you find another. But some others are being super strict and asking already for this commitment to be taken remotely, which is
Sure.
quite strange because like you're saying that you're going to stay in a place for 1 year without actually being there. I mean,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it depends. It depends.
Sure. Simone asked, which is easier to be accepted for, D7 visa or temporary stay visa? Yeah.
Yeah, the D7 visa, it's a hard question. It's a tricky question because it goes to case by case. We have a policy in our firm that the first conversation, the first 15 minutes to understand and get to know the person, it's the moment we can have to go over all the particularities of the case and give an honest opinion. Like,
Sure.
I think you have a hard chance. I think you don't have.
So Simone, great trick question, clapping for you. So you need to contact Gabriel, get a free 15-minute consultation, and you also get a discount because you are the part of the best community in the world. So I will tell you at the end, but please contact Gabriel and he will suggest you which one is better for you. Nathan is asking prices for a couple. Nathan, very short, very exact question. I would also encourage you, please talk to Gabriel so he can understand what services you want to buy from him. And the cost can range from 500 euros to 2,500 euros, so depending on something, right?
Just adding that whenever we apply as a couple or a family, all the other family members, they are always they have a significant reducing in the fees compared to the main applicant because we are building just one case and not five,
Oh,
four, let's say.
it's a one family case. So yeah, that's a great. So Nathan, the cost will not be double; it's gonna be less, but up to Gabriel. Even he asking, does the 2,500 euros for Gabriel's farm include help with finding place to live? Is that service is included in this quotation?
We have our own network of trusted partners. But this is something that we make the connections.
Sure.
and the persons deal with this outside. We are focused on the legal parts of the
Sure.
relocation.
Okay.
But yes, we being proud of member of VisaDB, we also have these networks of people who we know that gonna be happy and gonna be keeping the standards
Sure.
that we want to maintain for our clients.
Yeah. We also have contacts in the community, a lot of co-living spaces and apartment building contact us. So reach me out if you want to know. Blank is asking, if we apply for NHR, we only have to pay the 20% flat rate. It's actually a question, or is that just income tax we have to pay? So,
No, the 20% flat rate is on the personal income tax of all the products of income generated in Portugal through a set of activities. So there is a big list of highly added value activities that the government wants to attract this type of foreign workers.
Yeah.
But the money needs to be made in Portugal. This means that there needs to be a Portuguese company paying you, so you can be taxed on the 20%. What happens when it's a foreign source of income? Then it's going to apply as I was saying, the double taxation treaty, and each type of source of income, like let's say employment income from the abroad, going to have a specific rule according to the treaty between Portugal and such countries, let's say Australia and US and so on.
Okay. Sounds good. I really am so grateful, Gabriel. You're answering in an incredible way. Sonia is asking, what are your costs for opening a bank account? Like, if that is your service, which you mentioned, what is the cost for that service?
To be honest, we don't like to just open bank accounts because it's always a compliance matter. But I mean, we put it inside the package as a standalone service. We do it because, yeah, it's something that.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's an add-on. It's an add-on to a service rather an independent service. So it makes sense. Raquel is asking, what are the changes to the Golden Visa program? Was there any changes to that?
Good question. So by 1st of January, the Golden Visa laws they already changed. They will be enforced by 1st of January.
Wow.
And it means that the program has a lot of options of investment in, let's say, investment in a Portuguese company, investment in art, investment in a Portuguese bank account depositing 1 million euros. There are all this type of investments, but the main one, the one that most of the people are looking into, it's the investment in real estate. And by 1st of January, the law will change that all the metropolitan area of Lisbon, Porto, and highly densed,
major urban center, big cities. Yeah.
Let me put it like that. There was a list that if you apply it in a given places that has low population, you will have a 20% discount. What they are making, they are saying like, now you can just invest the 500,000 euros that you would invest, let's say, in Lisbon. Now it's just eligible the places in that list. So they swifted, instead of giving the discount, now they're saying now you need to go
premium. You need to pay premium.
Yeah, no, it's literally you cannot invest more. It's not eligible anymore. The investment done in cities like Lisbon, Porto, Portimão, the biggest cities in Portugal. It's not, and the cities nearby, because it's the most populated. What they want to do is to avoid the prices in real estate in these regions to keep increasing because of the Golden Visa, and they want actually to populate the countryside.
They want to restrict, and this is happening, and I support this, to be honest. We are digital nomads, but I also support and I also understand, because prices are rising for locals. So I think it's a great strategy. Lena is asking a very interesting question. What are the risks if I apply directly for the D7 visa without you, Gabriel, without experts?
Well, there's always a chance that, to be honest, what we make, our job is to make sure that you are going through, you're trailing a path that we already did it with many others in the past. So we are learning with each experience more and more and more, and keep updated. And I mean, what can happen? It can happen that you can speak with agents in the consulate, and there can be a misunderstanding and they can deny your application. There is the risk of they come back and forth and losing time because one specific thing was done out of the way that they would like to do it. But basically, we by making law simple, we make the translation, let's say, of what the officials want and they are looking for and how you need to present it.
Sure.
So we do this.
And also, I would answer because I also applied so many visas before. So, Lena, the best thing is the language. Language barrier is the biggest hurdle. I was in Poland and Germany, and because of language, I said, okay, let's hire the expert and let them do everything. And of course, Gabriel is an immigration lawyer. So that is, of course, he's not just a self-claim expert. He's a lawyer, so he will make sure that you get that visa. Also,
just adding up as well, the language, it's a perfect add-on, yes, because many of the guys don't speak perfect English and some things can be lost in communication. And besides that, adding on, we can pick some fights. Sometimes there are fights that needs to be, because yes, we are making sure that the law is being followed through, because otherwise can come some things absurd that we have listened and stories of people that clients that came like speak with us, try to do their own and come back, say, yeah, maybe I think it's going to be best to have some assistant here because it's not going. True.
I think I would encourage you, if you have a budget, or you should take it out this money, because you're applying for the visa to new countries, a new start, and it should be in a proper way, and Gabriel is there for you. Eder is asking, is it possible to apply for NHR for a person that already has a Portuguese citizenship? Which already has a Portuguese citizenship. I don't think so. I think NHR is for foreigners, I believe.
No, so that's important. Yeah, good question. Because one thing that we also need, it's super important to stress out, is that the tax and the immigration are completely different aspects. Let's say, of course, they have points of connection. Yes, the residence permit, because you're being allowed to stay in the country. But what's important to understand is if the person is considered a tax resident or not in Portugal. If that means the NIF number, which is a classic, it's the first document that you will obtain in Portugal. It's a tax ID registration known as NIF. If your NIF registration has a Portuguese address or not, that's where you start counting your fiscal residency. And it's only eligible, the NHR, if in the past 5 years from your application you haven't been considered at any time a fiscal resident in Portugal. But again, it's fiscal resident, not because sometimes some people can have the residence permit, let's say, and don't change. They will be not complying with fiscal registration, but they are compliant with the Borders Authority regulations. One thing, there are two separate agencies.
Sure. I think it's a very minor detail, and I would encourage you guys. So a lot of people asking me, before answering other questions, let me quickly let you know. So Gabriel is offering us, of course, 15 minutes free consultation. So you feel free to book an appointment, lexcity.com. I will share the Visa DB link, but there is a consultation fee. So I will directly connecting you. Please mention this, that you come from this webinar. So Gabriel can offer you a friendly pricing as well, because he's our close partner and he's our authorized community expert for the Portugal. So if you let him know, he will give you extra, of course, good pricing, and also make sure that you get the best service. So reach out, lexcity.com, book free consultation with Gabriel, and mention that you come from this webinar or Digital Nomads community Facebook group. So you get the good pricing and free consultation. So that's how you do it. Lexcity.com. In the chat, Paula will share this link with you. And quickly, Gabriel, I'm really sorry, because to be honest, we booked you for 30 minutes. I know you're a busy person, but very interesting questions. And I think most of the people will be reaching you out as well. Just last 3 questions I want to ask quickly before we let you go. How long does it take to get temporary residence permit, TRP, these days from the date of entry to Portugal? I'm not sure if you know that, but please try.
The temporary residence visa, it's those that are, well, they're under 1 year of stay, right? And
Yeah,
again, it's a type of visa that you obtain back in the home consulate.
sure,
But to be honest, we don't process much of those,
sure.
because it comes to a certain point where it's either 90, you stay 19 days, 180 days. So it's
Mhm.
for those cases specifically where the person wants to stay longer than 180 days and less than a year. Because if it's
Sure,
already more than a year, we go back to D7 and all the others. And it's, yeah, people quite tends to
sure.
not go through these routes very much when we
Interesting.
finally
So,
get speak.
yeah. So Ahmed, the best way to go for D7 visa to get help, and Gabriel doesn't help with that visa a lot. Nathan asked, can NHR apply for D7 remote workers as well? Is it 20 or 10%? Two questions. So first,
Um,
if
could you
NHR,
repeat
yeah,
just so
if NHR can be applied on D7 visas, like I'm on a D7 visa and then I want to apply this for this program.
anyone can apply for the NHR. The NHR, it's the only requirements you have. It's you need to apply within a deadline, with it March 31, March of the next year, when you are considered a residence, fiscal resident in Portugal.
Mhm.
And so any type of visa can apply for the NHR.
Sure.
And either if you are also, let's say, a European citizen and you want to stay
Mhm.
in the country.
Yeah.
So anyone can apply regardless of visa.
Mhm.
Yeah, the
Right.
only request, it's not you being here for the past 5 years considered a residence, a fiscal resident in Portugal.
Mhm.
And again, it goes back to fiscal residency is one thing,
Yeah.
legal residence for immigration purpose for the borders authority for SAF, it's another
Mhm.
thing. The requirements just you have never been considered for the past 5 years a fiscal resident in
Mhm.
tax authority in Portugal to apply for the NHR.
Yeah, and I think it's 20%. I think you already answered. So, guys, I really want to wrap up because Gabriel was there for half an hour and it was so interesting. So, we are going to organize more sessions with Gabriel on specific visas. One session only for D7 visas because we noticed a lot of interest coming for that. Second, we will apply only for NHR so we can save, all of us can save some taxes. And then we can also apply, organize a session on golden visas because we have a lot of rich fellas in our community as well who would like to go with that route. So there will be three different sessions I can organize with webinars in upcoming days. I think Gabriel is also enjoying because he's also seeing what's the move of what kind of questions people are asking. So he will be coming in. So Gabriel, again, on the behalf of my community. So for once again, guys, if you want to book it, go to lexcity.com, book it. Check out visadb.com, visadb.io and services as well. But for the free consultation, you need to go to lexcity.com, book a call, and before you start a call, let Gabriel know that you come from that community.
Please mention that you came from this webinar. That of course we're going to be super pleasure to give an extra attention and an extra help. And yeah, that's a great, this 15 minutes. If not going to be with me, we have a team of experts in immigration, in tax. There is also corporate matters. Some of you guys want to open a company here or invest in real estate. We have these 4 departments ready to help.
Sure.
And yeah, corporate's also something that a lot of you guys might be interested. There's a lot of crypto moments going on in Portugal. I mean, there's a subject for many, many, many different conversations that we can have.
Wow.
It will be a pleasure, and my colleagues as well will be honored to participate and help. We are here to help, to offer our service and serve.
Thank you. Thank you, Gabriel. I really, really appreciate it. Guys, again, Gabriel is our partner. You will be seeing him in our community hanging out for many years. So thank you, Gabriel, on the behalf of my community and the people in the webinar. I know they cannot speak, but I am speaking on their behalf. I really appreciate it. So we are so thankful. I show our gratitude for your time and see you soon. Guys, next webinar we are organizing in our community, that will be about Croatia, if I remember, or Bali. Please check out the events in the group. And thank you for joining. Thank you for tuning in today. Have a good
Thank
day.
you. Thank you,
Gabriel,
Denisha.
thank you, sir. Bye bye.
Well,